Something profound happens when you simply stop trying and start living as if you have already achieved your goals. It is no longer about chasing after something, nor is it about repeating formulas. It is about deactivating the old survival mode and activating a new inner attitude that completely transforms the field around you. Have you ever wondered why some people attract opportunities so easily, while others spend years trying and never get anywhere? The secret is not in the amount of effort or the intensity of your desire. The secret lies in the vibrational state you maintain, even without realizing it. This message is not just more theoretical content about abundance. It is a call for inner repositioning. And if you allow it, you can now begin a process of change so precise that in 2 days or less, your reality may show clear signs of transformation. This does not depend on bad luck or fate. It depends on something only you can do. Decide who you are now. Most people believe they need proof to trust. That first comes money, then peace of mind. That first comes opportunity, then security. But what few understand is that vibration precedes form. Always. It all starts with a feeling, a sustained emotional state, a silent conviction, a kind of presence that doesn't shout to the world what it wants, but carries within itself the certainty that it already is. If this is starting to make sense to you, like this video right now, this helps keep that frequency active and spread this content to those who also need this realignment. The turning point happens at the exact moment when you stop searching and start expressing what you want, as if you were already living it. And that's why this practice is divided into 2 days. Not because the magic lives in the calendar, but because 2 days are enough to break an old cycle and install a new energy code. Today, on day 1, the instruction is clear. You don't need to understand, you need to feel. Tonight, before you go to sleep, you will abandon your mental rituals. You will let go of the desire to get it right. You will release control over time, the how and the why. And instead, you will inhabit a vibrational state of completion. Yes, completion. What would it be like if what you've been waiting for had already arrived? How would you lie down? How would you breathe? What kind of thoughts would run through your mind if there were no more urgency? Tonight, don't visualize out of obligation. Feel out of conviction. You don't need to paint a complete picture in your mind. Just anchor a feeling, perhaps relief, freedom, silent satisfaction, and stay there for a moment, effortlessly, without anxiety. It is in this space between thought and sleep that your deepest vibration is recorded. What you feel at this point is not just a desire. It is an instruction sent to the invisible field that surrounds you. You're not asking. You are acknowledging. You're not trying. You are assuming. Neville Goddard called this the state of already accomplished. And the more this state is experienced, the more real it becomes to the subconscious. If you want to reinforce this decision now, write in the comments, I recognize that it is already mine, not out of superstition, but because to declare is to align. It is translating into words what the body has already begun to feel. And here's a little spoken truth. Manifestation does not happen when you think about something intensely. It happens when you feel something naturally. So today is not about creating euphoria, nor is it about provoking intense emotion. The most powerful thing you can do is feel that everything is fine, even if nothing has changed yet. This state of heightened neutrality is fertile ground for the unexpected. And that's where the silent magic begins. It may feel strange at first. You may feel like you're faking it. But that initial resistance is just the voice of your old identity trying to maintain control. Ignore it gently. Don't fight it. Just return to the feeling. And even if your mind tries to seek reassurance, you already know that the vibration comes first. The external only responds to what you hold internally with conviction. Today, during the day, you can also anchor this new state with simple gestures. When drinking coffee, take a deep breath and say mentally, "This is what a prosperous person does." When paying a bill, silently affirm, "I am supported." When walking, straighten your posture as if the universe is working in your favor. These gestures are not tricks. They are vibrational reinforcements, silent declarations that you are no longer vibrating from doubt, but from certainty. And if, by chance, thoughts of scarcity arise, and they will, you don't have to resist them. Just observe, breathe, and return. The key is the gentle repetition of returning to center. You don't have to feel extraordinary. You just have to remain loyal to your chosen new state, because it is this state that will begin to send out a different signal. And that signal, in turn, changes the kind of response you attract. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are consistently. And today is the beginning of that consistency. Tonight, sleep not as someone who needs answers, but as someone who has already received them. Not as someone who is waiting for money to arrive, but as someone who knows it is on its way. Not as someone looking for signs, but as someone who has become the sign. If this makes sense to you, share it with someone who needs to get out of standby mode and into presence mode. When you spread this vibe, you strengthen your own transformation. And get ready, because on day 2, reality may try to pull you back. But what you will learn tomorrow will keep you steady on your new path. The second day does not require proof. It requires consistency. After a night when you felt, even if only for a few moments, what would be like to already have what you want, the challenge becomes sustaining that vibration while the outside world remains the same. Your mind will try to deceive you. It will tell you that nothing has changed, that you only imagined it, that it was just another attempt. But you're no longer someone who reacts to that. Now you know what you're doing. You are reframing your energetic origin. You are redefining the identity that sends signals to the universe. And that does not happen without resistance, but it happens with choice. Today, the most important thing is not to be vibrating positively all the time. That would be an unrealistic expectation. The essential thing is that when a thought of scarcity arises, you do not adopt it as truth. You just breathe and return. Return to the feeling. Return to the memory that the night before you connected with a higher version of yourself. A version that no longer depends on what happens to know who you are. A version that leads, not follows. And that is the practice for the second day. It's not about repeating affirmations over and over again. Nor is it about keeping yourself in a state of euphoria. It's about acting like someone who already lives the reality you desire. Think about your decisions today. What are you going to wear? What are you going to eat? How are you going to express yourself? Each of these choices can be made from your future self, what you're already naturally manifesting. This simple exercise transforms routine actions into silent affirmations of identity. That version that already has abundance, walks more slowly, smiles for no reason, doesn't justify itself, don't hesitate to receive, and above all, don't seek approval. You don't have to act like you're rich. You just have to act like someone who is already at peace with abundance. And that has nothing to do with spending excessively. It has to do with how you feel when you do what you do. When you pay for something today, feel fulfilled. When you receive something simple, recognize it as proof of harmony. When you talk to someone, communicate firmly, not out of arrogance, but because your presence is enough. And yes, doubts are likely to arise. It's common for old thoughts to come back throughout the day. Am I fooling myself? Will it work? These questions are not flaws. They are echoes of the previous version trying to survive. But now you know, you don't have to fight them. Just don't react to them. You breathe, observe, and return to the new point. It's that simple. That's what separates those who sustain change from those who merely desire it. You're no longer reacting to every thought or feeling. You are consciously choosing who you want to be, even in the face of uncomfortable emotions. And that is the real power, living the truth before it appears on the outside. If this makes sense to you, write in the comments. My inner reality is the priority. It anchors you. It reminds you. It strengthens you. And what's more, it invites others to stay on the path. Now, an important revelation. Many people start this practice expecting to feel a strong emotion, absolute certainty, something transcendental. But the true sign that you're aligned is when you start acting like someone who no longer needs to feel anything extraordinary. You simply live. You pay, respond, walk, breathe like someone who already belongs to what they desire. This is your new identity. It doesn't arrive with a bang. It settles in silence. And the more you sustain it, the more everything around you begins to mold itself to reflect that frequency. Today, it's not necessary for something extraordinary to happen, but it's essential that you remain steadfast. Not like someone trying to convince themselves, but like someone who already understands the mechanism. The universe does not give you what you want. It mirrors what you sustain. And you are sustaining something new, even if nothing has manifested yet. Even if the bill still looks the same. Even if no one has given you an answer. You know it. And that's enough. If you want to reinforce this new attitude, try the following gestures throughout the day. When you look at something you would like to have, instead of saying, "I can't yet," say, "It's coming." When fear arises, say mentally, "That no longer defines me." At the end of the day, recall the choices you made consciously and celebrate each one. This consolidates the new version. This strengthens the new field. This makes you unmistakable to the reality that is to come. And here's the part that no one usually says. You don't have to be ready. You just need to be available. Available to inhabit that identity for more than a moment. For more than a desire. For more than a beautiful thought. Available to sustain it while the world still looks the same. Because that's where real change happens. Now, if something unexpected happens today, a message, a phone call, an opportunity, welcome it naturally. Not as a surprise, but as confirmation. But if nothing happens, that's okay. Because you're no longer creating to prove something. You're creating because you can no longer be who you were before. And that is the greatest manifestation there can be. The birth of a new you who is no longer satisfied with crumbs. You no longer serve fear. You no longer respond to doubt with despair. You no longer negotiate with scarcity. You got up. And even if today everything remains the same in your eyes, inside everything has already changed. If you want, share this video with someone who needs this reminder. Someone who is tired of trying and ready to embody. At the end of the day, before going to sleep, do something simple. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and say mentally, "I am ready to receive," and feel it for 30 seconds, without thinking, without visualizing. Just feel what it's like to be at peace with what is already yours. That vibration will carry over into your sleep, and sleep, once again, will be a portal. And on the third day, well, you'll understand. The third day is not about results. It's about confirmation. At this point in the journey, something inside you already knows. Even if you can't explain it, you feel that something has realigned. Anxiety seems less. Thoughts flow with more space. And even if reality seems the same, you no longer recognize yourself in the place you were before. That, in itself, is already a miracle. The third day is silent. Often, it brings no fireworks, no thunderous answers. Instead, it brings clarity, stability, a type of vibrational maturity that you may never have accessed before. And at the same time, it tests you. It tests your steadfastness, your choice, your willingness to remain aligned without negotiating with the outside world. Maybe today you wake up and, on impulse, think about checking your bank balance. Looking for that message that hasn't arrived yet. Looking for a clue that it's working. But before you make any external moves, ask yourself, What's going on inside here? Because if peace remains, even without proof, then alignment has already been consolidated. The third day is when many turn back, when doubt, still subtle, disguises itself as rationality. Maybe I was deluding myself. It's better not to get my hopes up. I need a more practical plan. But this is the disguised invitation of the old identity, to return to the safety of control. And today, you choose differently. You choose to trust the invisible, not as an act of blind faith, but as a result of everything you have felt in the days before. You choose to walk slowly, not out of tiredness, but out of confidence. You choose to stay, because what you feel is already truer than any absence. If this touches you, write in the comments, I remain steady on the right frequency. This phrase is more than a reminder. It is an anchor, an energetic code, a clear sign that you no longer allow yourself to be swayed by appearances. And the most surprising thing is usually on this day that things start to move. Maybe someone will mention your name in a decisive conversation. Maybe a sum of money will be released. Maybe inspiration will strike so clearly that you know what to do. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll feel something click inside, as if suddenly fear no longer makes sense, as if despair has lost its place, as if the old you is gone and the new one is finally in charge. This is the true manifestation. You become who you needed to be in order to receive. And this no longer depends on dates, proof, or praise. You walk through a familiar place, but everything seems different. You observe people, but now you notice what you didn't see before. You speak less, or you speak with more intention. Your breathing changes. Your body changes. Your vibration changes. And the universe, silently, begins to respond. Because when you sustain a vibrational state with consistency, reality has no other choice. It has to adjust. Yes, it may take more than 3 days. But what needs to happen inside you has already happened. And that's what matters. The third day marks the beginning of the new phase. You are no longer in training. You are in expression. You no longer need instruction or confirmation. You now simply live as who you already are. And this way of living, this new way of being, is what attracts experiences that are compatible with who you have become. That is why, for many, the third day is a turning point. And for others, it's just the beginning of a new rhythm. Both are right, because it's not about speed, it's about solidity. You're no longer someone who depends on reality. You're someone who shapes reality. So today, throughout the day, keep your attention on these points. If something seems frustrating, breathe and say, "This does not change who I am." If unexpected news comes up, remember, everything works together for what is already mine. If someone challenges you, think, "I no longer lose myself trying to prove myself. I just keep being myself." These micro gestures shape your field. They tell the universe, without words, that you haven't turned back. And the universe understands consistency. It responds to sustained vibration. It doesn't respond to anxious requests. It responds to the steady vibration of someone who has already taken charge. And yes, the manifestations will come. They may already be coming. But if they haven't come yet, it doesn't matter anymore. Because you have already received the real gift, your new identity. You are now the one who feels, chooses, acts, and expresses yourself as someone complete. And abundance, whatever form it takes, is just a reflection of that. If you want to seal this, share this message, not as a favor, but as a vibrational act. By spreading this content, you are affirming to the universe, I am ready to be a source, not just a receiver. And at the end of the day, before going to sleep, close your eyes. Remember the last 3 days. Recognize what has changed in you. And even if you don't know how, be thankful. The silent gratitude of the third day is the energetic seal of manifestation. It says, I receive, even before I see. And that is enough.